Hey you guys, I hope you are having an amazing day. I hope you are enjoying your day. I hope you enjoy this video. Today I'm going to make a Jason inspired hair bow. So I already have my hair bow made. This is the back part. I decided to go with a red, black, white color scheme. I have at the bottom US designer red swirl ribbon. I have US designer black and white swirl ribbon. And if you look close up onto the ribbon, you see little bitty sparkles of glitter. Okay, one of the special things in this bow is the croakers. So I use the United States designer ribbon for the croakers. Well, not all of the croakers, but some of the croakers. This is one of the patterns. I also use the same pattern in my It bow. It has like these dots that remind me of blood splatter. So I'm not going to show you how to make the hair bow on camera because it is a paid tutorial. You can purchase that tutorial from the Fun Fairy Boutique. She has a website. The owner, designer of the pattern name is Erica. If you do buy her tutorial, please, please, please make sure that you join her Facebook group. It is awesome. It has other designers in there. And Erica, if you have a question, she responds very quickly. So I love being a part of that group. She has taught me so much. And anytime I send her a message, she makes sure to reply. Just amazing. I cannot explain everything. You would have to experience it to know it. Okay, so let's get started. As you know, I like to plan out my hair bow before I start gluing. The reason why I do that, in case I make a mistake or I want to change something, I won't have to spend extra time cleaning off glue off my hair bow. And it makes it look more professional at the end. So these are my embellishments that I'm going to be working with today. I have these Jason inspired resins. I have the Jason mask, hockey mask. I have 2 roses, black. This one has glitter, and this one has, well, it has a little bit of glitter, but it doesn't have much. And I also have these flowers. I'm not sure what the actual name of these flowers are. They're some type of lace flower, but they have these gold dots on them, and on the back it has a white felt backing. So to get started, I always do my layout. I'm going to actually put Jason right here, and I want to make sure that you see this ribbon, so I don't want to cover up this portion with my resin. So I'm going to pull that forward as much as possible. I'm going to put this one to the back so you see it. You see how I created this black and red background so that I don't lose the print that I put in here behind this resin. So I'm going to slide that to the side and stick Jason right there. He might not stay because, you know, he's not glued, but let's get the idea. Okay, now I'm going to figure out where I want to put his mask. I always make sure that I do multiple areas to figure out what looks the best, because we're working on a focal point. I think I'm going to slide him right there for symmetry. Okay. Well, you get the idea. He's going to go right there. Okay, now I'm going to see how that looks with the flowers. So start over here. I don't really care for that. I can start gluing now because I know that for sure Jason mask is going to go here. For sure Jason is going to go right there. So I'm going to start with Jason. I'm going to make sure I move these flowers this forward. Okay. I always scratch up the back of my resins before I glue them down. It gives a more porous surface. It gets the coating off the back of the resin, and it helps the glue adhere to the resin and the ribbon. I'm gonna knock that off. You don't want to knock it anywhere near your bow. I just knock it on the floor and sweep it up later. So you see the scratches. Not a lot of them, but it gets the job done. And I'm gonna put a general amount of glue across the back portion. And I allow the glue to cool down a bit so it will be tacky. And it keeps the glue from going down the bow and coming at the bottom near your clip. Before I put my embellishments on my hair bow, 90% of the time, I always make sure to put the embellishments on a stiffened hair bow. I stiffen my hair bow before. I spray it with hairspray. I let it sit sometimes overnight to make sure it's fully dry before I start to put the embellishment on them. If I'm in a rush, if I need to get that order out the same day, I let them air dry in the morning, or I use a hair dryer. Now, if you notice that I pushed Jason back, that's because I want his mask to be more in front than him. So that gives a 3D effect. So the way I'm going to do that, I'm going to push these ribbons back to make his mask come forward. So it gives a background behind him, gives support. Gonna put the glue. Uh-oh, I forgot to scratch it. But it's still going to hold. I put a little extra glue on it to make sure. And I'm going to test this in a couple days to make sure that it is holding correctly. And I'm going to use that ribbon to push the mask forward. See, Jason, his mask. Okay, now, while that is adhering, I know that I'm going to put the roses, the black ones right here. See, do I want to put the... I'm trying to figure out which side does the glitter one need to go on. So I know that I'm going to put a vibrant red and gold flower right here. So I don't want to put the glitter beside that one because I wanted to, I don't want the glitter black rose to overpower this one. So I'm going to put the plain one beside it. That's kind of bulky. So I'm going to show you how to make it. If I put them like that, they'll be bulky. So I'm going to show you how to make it more slim First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this rose down. I'm going to take my glue and I'm going to stick this beside each other. Once again, I try my best not to use my hand close to the glue. I'm going to use this clip to hold where my fingers would be because I burned myself so much. I hate burning myself. I've learned to use other instruments instead of my fingers. So I'm going to hold that together. I'm going to let that get glued together. I'm going to wait until that glues fully. And then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do about these ends. Okay. And it took a lot of the bulk off of the roses. If you're wondering why am I using roses on a Jason hair bow, it's because when I saw these roses, I thought that would look pretty for a funeral. So if you run into Jason or you have an altercation with Jason, chances are you might need a funeral. So it's kind of a dark joke behind this this bow. Okay. Now, this does not have a center to it. And I want to make sure that I use as much as the petals in the front of the bow as I can. So as you can see, it has a felt on the back to keep it from having that little scrunched up look in the middle. I don't like the way that looks. I'm not going to add, normally I would add an embellishment to the middle, but I'm not going to add that since this bow has so much going on. I'm going to show you how I get rid of that look. So I'm going to take some glue and go across the bottom, or close to the bottom, near the center. I'm going to turn it into a sandwich. I'm not going to use my fingers to press too far down on the glue. I'm going to use this because this is lace. It's like a lace material. The glue will go through that lace and burn you. It will stick to your hand. I've been burnt many times doing that. I've learned my lesson. I use tools. I use whatever I can find to hold that together. So I'm going to let that sit. Now our roses are stuck together. Okay. Sometimes you have to fluff your roses. These are just some artificial roses. I bought these a couple years ago from Walmart in a Halloween display. I'm going to figure out where I want this to go. I'm going to keep some of this dotted ribbon to the back, some is to the front. I want to have as much symmetry as possible in this bow. So just like that. If you see, I've created a little hole. Now, because this is a wide surface, I'm not going to just glue a little tip on this. I'm going to use my paper scissors because never use your fabric scissors on paper. Never use it on plastic. I'm going to use a pair of scissors that I can easily replace. These are just Dollar Tree, Dollar General scissors. I'm going to cut that. I only cut one. That's going to help this one lay down on top of that little plastic portion. So now I'm going to glue. And normally I would just glue the little stick portion, but because this is a bigger flower, because I add them together, I'm going to glue in a circular motion, and then I'm going to glue the stick. Wait a few moments for it to get tacky. Slide it into my hole. And I'm going to kind of tilt it forward But you also don't want your back to look ugly, so tilt that forward. Make sure you keep an eye on the back portion of your bow to make sure that the croakers are covering up your embellishment. If not, you can add smaller little ribbon bows to the back to cover up any imperfections. You can add felt that is the color of the bow. Like, for instance, if the croakers wasn't covering up the glue part of the back of these flowers, I would add black felt, black ribbon, something of that nature, so it doesn't look unprofessional. You don't want a bunch of gnarly looking glue screens and just ribbon pieces that's not cohesive with your pattern or the look that you're going for. So now that's how the side looks. That's how the back looks. It's looking great. If you wanted to stop right there, you could, but I'm extra, so I'm gonna add this flower. Look, this is a wonderful example of what I was telling you about adding, using a tool when you, I'm sorry. This is a wonderful example of what I was telling you about using a tool to hold these lace flowers when you glue them together instead of your fingers. As you can see, it stuck to the clip. Now imagine if I had used my fingers, I would be burnt right now. So I'm gonna peel that off. Look at that. That could have been my finger. Now I'm gonna figure out where I want to put this. And don't worry about this glue. I'm gonna fix that. You just fluff it out. Pull on it, fluff, fluff, pull. Let me show you an even better tip. So this part of my flower is not going to be seen at the top. To cover up that glue, I'm going to clip this off gently, and I want to get but one petal. I'm going to heat seal it so it won't fray. And this little glue part right there, that looks nasty. I'm going to put a tiny dot of glue. I'm not even going to press my trigger. I'm just going to use what's leaking off of my glue gun. And I'm going to tack it. So it's not even hot. Tack, tack. And look. Okay. I've decided that I'm going to put this right there. So I'm going to glue down here. And I'm going to slide it in. I have glue screens, so I'm going to pull on those to get them off. There are other ways and other methods to eliminate glue screens. Sometimes I like to take a lighter and go across there and make them melt. You have to go pretty fast to make sure that you don't set your bow on fire. Okay, and that is the finished product. You have Jason. This is what the back looks like. If you wanted to, you could add ribbon to the back of that felt if you don't like the way it looks. I don't mind. I think it goes with the theme because it is red and white. You could add a miniature pinwheel, a tuxedo bow made out of 1.5 ribbon or 7/8 ribbon and go across the back if you wanted it to be more pretty, more beautiful. but I like the way that it looks. I've also have posted a Freddy Krueger hair bow tutorial on my page if you want to go look at that. You can also find me on TikTok. My handle is at yourfavoritebows. You can find me on Facebook at yourfavoritebows. I also have a VIP group on Facebook. It's Your Favorite Bows LLC. And if you want to look at my website, you can find me at yourfavoritebows.com. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you have a wonderful day and continue to be great.